Get it tuned in to Music Scene Investigation. Rich Wildman here. I'm so glad you're here with us today. I'm going to pot some of these pots down so we can actually hear ourselves think. Occasionally we do that because, you know, thinking is a good thing for little boys and girls all over the world. We all know this. You're tuned into Music Scene Investigation. My name's Rich Wildman. On today's broadcast, we're going to take 3 new songs, put them in front of our panel, find out what they have to say about them as they offer their review and critique of these new pieces of music by indie artists from around the world. It's going to be very good. I predict that the panel is going to have a horribly, horribly difficult time deciding on a song of the week, which they will have to do by the end of the broadcast today. So we'll find out exactly how well they do at it as we go on through today's show. I want to introduce everybody to our panel before we hear the music today. So let's do that right now. From London, England, Mr. Ian Husbands. Hey, Ian, how you doing, my man?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
I'm not too bad. I mean, all things considered, aside from me not being able to tell the time, apparently, I've got that in common with some drummers around the world. So other than that, I'm good.
You beat me to it.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah, if I, why not beat myself up over it, right?
Well, all right, your job. As long as you do plenty of it.
Yeah, no problem. No problem at all. All songs today, by the way, everybody, are about 1 minute and 10 seconds long. How's that?
That's lying.
Yeah, but still, I can't tell time.
That's still lying, though. You know they're not.
I know, but I still can't tell time, so it's kind of funny, isn't it?
No.
All right. We do have an issue with today's music. Every song on today's broadcast came in at over 5 minutes long. So, because they didn't follow the rules, we have to teach them a lesson. So they will be cut at 5 minutes, and then our panel will offer their review of that music.
Oh, we're so harsh on people.
Yeah, well, it happens.
We're so bad. We're so nasty. We do have terms and conditions, guys. That is under 5 minutes for broadcast purposes. Please try and stick to that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, Ian. Things with you. Has the island of Great Britain sunk into the ocean yet, like Atlantis, or what?
No. Is this something that's been in the news in America?
No, I keep hearing that in the springtime you guys get all this rain and floods, and it happened last year. It seems like it happens every year, so I was just wondering.
No, we haven't had any flooding yet. I mean, not here anyway. I think a little bit up north and down south a little bit, but nothing major at the moment. But it's still quite cold. I think, it's we get the occasional sunny day that we think spring's here, and then it goes.
It doesn't hang. That doesn't hang around long, then.
No, it's been rather murky here today.
Well, the only thing I can say to that, aside from my mic going bad, that's better.
There we go.
It's all about getting the mic plugged in right, folks. I think. I don't know. It was working fine up until this point, so, it is what it is. All right,
that's what they'll say.
Yeah, All right, so no flooding there yet. It's just kind of weird at the moment.
Yeah, just on and off spring. Maybe not spring, winter, spring, winter, spring.
All right. Well, that makes sense. Now, I have a funny feeling that my video is way out of sync and everybody else's video is going to be fine today.
Probably. You can't get your timings right.
Well, this goes to show you. I'm looking at my video right now, and it looks like it's so far out of sync that it's not even funny. I don't know.
Just stop looking at yourself.
Maybe someone out in the chat room can confirm that. We'll find out. All right, Ian, you've got some witness statements from last week on the 1st of March when Lee Haggerty was on the show with us. And during that broadcast, we had Days of Dawn with their track Falling in Love, which was our song of the week. And JoJo Keys with Secret Attack along with Miss Tish and her track Comprehending Knowledge. So tell us how those witness statements turned out.
Yeah, pretty much everyone agreed with us. We went for Falling in Love by Days of Dawn, and so did our audience, with songwriting at 67% and performance and mix and production at 100%. So people were on our side.
That's good to know.
Yes.
It happens quite a lot in the overall statistics of things, but still, it's good to know that you guys kind of know what you're talking about.
And even our janitor had to agree with us this week. If you go and check out Pinky's weekly cleanup, you can see that he agreed with us as well.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that as well.
You've got a photograph to show, haven't you? I've been meeting up with people.
I do have a photograph to show. Why don't you tell everybody where it was taken and who is in it?
Well, I run a jam night, as most people know now. But once a month, we do one on a Monday in a little pub called The Angel in Hayes, my place of birth, Hayes. And occasionally we get a few people down. And this Monday we had Sam Kelly, who is a MSI panellist. We had Jerome Marcus, who's a new MSI panellist. We had Lefty John Hodgson, who's an MSI panellist. Myself, obviously, and Lee Hegarty as well. So the five of us met up down there. So we had to get a photograph. We had to get a photograph of all of us together for the show.
Well, it is a very good photograph, by the way. And I'm glad to see you guys all got the chance to get together.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. It's a pleasure to work with some good musicians as well.
I know there's also another photograph of Lee, Lefty John, and Sam all playing as well.
That's right. Yeah, Lee got up and played some bass with John, and Sam's on the house drums anyway. So yeah, lots of fun was had by all.
Well, very cool. Well, I'm glad you're back with us. No worse for the wear after that Monday gig at the Angels.
That was the day after. I've recovered from that.
Well, I'm glad to see that. As we go to Las Vegas, and we're going to talk with Andrea Bensmiller. Andrea, how you doing? I got to apologize to you, of course. My fault on the big time mix-up.
I'm taxed, Rich. I'm racking my brain for a decent punishment for you.
I'm thinking, you know, Caesar's Palace, the fountain.
You know, there's so many things in Vegas that I think would be worse. But
it's the biggest tourist attraction of all.
I don't know. I'm gonna go through the list. You know,
do you know?
Come out.
Do you know Chris Angel? He could make me disappear.
You'd want to disappear, I guess, if you showed up at that show. I think.
All right. So, how have things been going with you? Is it summer in Vegas yet? Because of course, it's just the beginning of March.
It's been really beautiful this week. There was some rain. It got a little cold for a couple of days, but yeah, we're back into spring again. It's really gorgeous. You can walk around without a coat, without a jacket, so it's nice.
That's pretty awesome. It's got to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, this is about the time of year, you know, everything starts to pick up. There'll be outdoor concerts and events and Sundays in the park and all kinds of great stuff. So
do you get a lot of those Asnar guys who drive those little bitty go-karts driving around Vegas?
They don't drive the go-karts. No, this is a big muscle car and vintage car place. So if you like cars, this place is the place for you. There's going to be tons of car shows. You see those things driving around all the time, old restored vintage cars. So that's pretty cool. You know, it's kind of fun.
Oh, very cool. By the way, happy International Women's Day.
Yeah.
On behalf of all the women, thank you. All the women all over the world, thank you for our own day.
So now, go
You've
ahead.
got your own days, Mother's Days, Valentine's Days. Just saying.
Well, Valentine's Day is for everybody, you know.
Not if you're single.
And Mother's Day is for mothers. So that leaves out those of us who, you know, we're too terrified to become mothers.
Well, wouldn't it be better to have a non-mother, non-lover day?
Yeah, that's today, I guess. Well, and as Rich explained, for the revolutionaries who started it in St. Petersburg, Russia, you know.
I think it was St. Petersburg, Florida. I don't know.
Yeah, because before the show we established all women were communists, right?
No, we established that they were from St. Petersburg. That's all we established. All right, Andrea, thanks for being here as well. By the way, Pinky out in the chat room is saying 3 weeks at Circus should be my penance. The number will be 3, not 1, and certainly not 2. and 4 is right out, is what he's saying.
That's a bit of Monty Python he's going into there.
Yeah, the holy hand grenade bit.
Yes, Holy Hand Grenade of Antioch.
Yep, my favorite. Some call me Tim. All right, Mr. Paul Miro is our guest panelist today, the lead man from Apes, Pigs, and Spacemen. He's got one of my favorite albums, Sometimes You Get, Sometimes You Get Got. I like that title too, but and one of my favorite songs is on that album. Hey, Paul, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you, Rich?
I'm doing real well. It's great to have you back on the broadcast with us. How things been going?
Good, good. Non-stop as usual. Probably even more non-stop than usual. But as you can probably see from my my rather stretched out eyes, I'm pretty darn tired, but not complaining because it's all for good purposes.
Now, I know that I watch your Twitter account occasionally, like all the time. I mean, what can I say? I'm just one of those kinds of people. I like to
Stalker.
Yeah, exactly. I like to stalk people. So I watch your Twitter account, and I see that you're up virtually 24/7. It seems like, and you're in studio apparently working on a new album. I'm pretty sure. And so let's talk about this new album, and I want to find out everything there is to know, including all the super secret stuff.
The super secret stuff will be building as we go because it's going to be a pledge-funded album. I'm going to be doing it through Pledge Music. I've so far got 15 tracks well into production for the album itself. There's going to be some great guest appearances, a lot of bonus material, lots of bonus video stuff, lots of merch and things that are going to be going out. Hopefully, I'm guessing sometime in May we'll be doing the pledge campaign for it. But it's called Sonombre. It's quite a dark leaning album with huge choruses, still really hooky, but it's kind of it's got a bit of a dark country feel.
Now, Pinky out in the chat room is asking the question, is the new album going to be available on vinyl?
Don't know yet. We're contemplating doing a vinyl version. At the moment, until I press go on the campaign, I've got to sit down and talk with the campaign manager because the pledge people are great at looking after your interests and working out what your target audience is going to be looking at. We're definitely considering vinyl. What tracks go on that, we shall have to wait and see. The thing is, at the minute, there's going to be a total of around about 110 minutes of music. We don't want the album to be above 50. And obviously, if it's vinyl, we're going to have to cut that a little bit further. But yes, vinyl is a big possibility.
All right. So the whole thing is going to be funded through Pledge Music. When is the anticipated start date on that so people can get out and start making their pledges to support the album?
Thinking possibly the beginning of May. I shall know a little more after we finalized artwork and after we've finalized what formats everything's going to be in. But we're looking at a May launch to the campaign. The campaign will run for 3 months, so a summer release for the album.
Oh, that's going to be very cool. Something to listen to at the beach, perhaps. In a dark country,
yeah.
In a dark country kind of way.
More like the desert.
Yeah, maybe. Well, maybe while looking for ghosts and demons and dark spirits and summoning them in, in somewhere in LA because they all reside in LA, I think.
We need a Ouija board.
You can have whatever you like, Rich. whatever he wants, give it to him.
All right. So, new album. Anything else on the burner for you as well? I mean, is this new album perhaps going to be coupled with any video releases this time around?
Definitely planning to be at least 2 videos, possibly there may be another animated video. We might have lyric videos, but really already talking to 2 directors about getting some almost choreographed weird stuff going on. So yeah, lots of video ideas knocking around. Yes, and also lots of gigs. I've started doing a lot of solo gigs this year. I'm doing quite a few with Tony Wright from Terrorvision and CJ from the Wild Hearts and Chris Catalyst from Eureka Machines. We're doing some working really well, actually. Frontmen from bands and going out playing acoustic shows, 4-band bill. Amazing fun. So we're doing some of that, and I'm hoping to tour with a small band, depending on what pledge funding comes in. I'm hoping to do a small band tour to back up the album when that comes out as well.
That's going to be very cool. Of course, we wish you the best of luck on that. And, if there's anything we can do, let us know.
Pinky
just donate all your money to my pledge campaign.
Oh, there you go.
Well, so you certainly have access to, we'll push out on a network and we'll put ads up on the website and stuff for you as usual. Not a problem with that. Pinky wants to know, will you be using some drone videos? That would be really cool.
Some drone videos. Well, I don't have any drones, but I'm certainly bang up for it.
Well, look, there's these Parrot AR drones. Rich has got one, and I really want one. So buy me one, and I'll come and make you a video.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. Well, there's Rich's donation.
Everyone heard that, right?
Rich can...
Yeah. I tell you what. Let's just make things easier, and I'll just send mine over to Ian and call it done.
Mines, aren't they illegal?
No. I don't know. I get in trouble so much on this. I guess I should just keep my mouth shut and play some music. Maybe that'll make things all better. I don't know. So we do have 3 songs to take a listen to today, gentlemen and lady. So why don't we do that as we get things going on today's broadcast here on Music Scene Investigation. Here it is, everybody. We got song number 1 up first, of course, because that's the number it had. So here it is. This is song number 1 on today's Music Scene Investigation. Enjoy.
You can hold me back, you can run my name, but I can run for miles and miles. You can vote me out, you can scream and shout, but I can run for miles and miles. 'Cause everyone you see are the ones you meet. They just have my face on. Everywhere you go are the ones you know. They just run for miles and miles. Watch the fever grow as you lose control.
And that's why we had to cut it off, because everything after that was after 5 minutes, and that's just kind of the way it goes. Sorry about that. So, all right, let's go over to our panel, find out what they thought of the song as they heard it, and we'll see what they have to say. Ian, what do you think of track number 1?
Yeah, lots of good stuff going on here. Where to start, really? Love the drums, love the bass. Performances on there were fantastic. Like the fuzz guitar, like the vocalist. The arrangement on the track was really, really good. Some really nice parts, some good dynamics, some nice stops, the solo into the sort of breakdown. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff going on here. Very reminiscent of Stone Temple Pilots to me, who I really like their stuff as well. But the one thing this was missing, one, the vocalist did get lost in them choruses, especially sometimes, and the synths and bits came in the background. They did sort of push those vocals really back. And, you know, he needs some support. There needs to be some big backing vocals in there, some nice harmonies, especially on that chorus, lift everything up. You know, you've got a great singer there doing a lot of work and not quite getting the power to match the rest of the instrumentation behind him. And he's kind of getting lost and sort of stood out on his own. And yeah, some harmonies, bit glad vocals would really, really change that. Overall, on the mixed sound, I did feel that it was pretty dull in places from the point of view of EQing. Needed a bit more top end. All the hi-hats sounded quite dark. The snare sounded a little bit just muddy. And just a bit of top end on that whole mix, I think, would have brought everything out a little bit more. Otherwise, not a lot else to say. Really enjoyed the song. It was a bit long, but I mean, I can see why they've done it. And overall, top effort.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, Ian. Thank you. Let's go over to Andrea, find out what her thoughts are. Andrea, track number 1, over to you.
Yeah, I really like the recording, the song. I thought it was great. I don't have much different to say that Ian covered. I agree with him on the muddy part. I think some of that was the bass. I'm often listening to see whether I can really hear a distinctness in the bass line, and it wasn't that easy to pick out sometimes. So I think that's where some of the mud's coming from. Overall, I mean, great band, awesome song, played well, great tones, love the vocalist. And my only critique is kind of what Ian said too. It sounded like one of those recordings where everybody's thinking a little bit too much instead of playing their heart out in the studio. And because of that reason, it sounds a little held back. Like everybody could have given it that extra oomph, and you know, you would have had this really high energy version of it. And that's the only thing that didn't quite come through. Is a little bit subdued. Ian mentioned it in the vocal, but I heard it really in the whole band. It's, you know, it's unfortunate because it's such a great recording and it's a great song, and it's well played. You can tell this band has really worked together. I love the drummer, you know, awesome groove, great fills, everything really worked. Guitar players, I think there's more than one, really great job, excellent solo. Just needed that little bit more kick of energy to make you feel like you're at that, you know, that club, at that concert where you're really feeling it pulsate. But awesome song. I loved it. Great job.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, Andrea. Thank you. Now over to Mr. Paul Miro. Paul, track number 1. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, Andrea and Ian have said it all really. It just lacks energy. Love the song. Love the performance. Really liked some of the guitar tones. They were really working for me. I really liked the kind of lo-fi angle they were going for. I thought the drums sounded great. The playing was great, but it was, like Andrea said, as if everyone was on their best behavior and wanting to put on something a little bit more slick than it needed to be, rather than passionate. They needed to be kicking a bit more ass and really tearing your face off. Vocalist, I could go either way with what Ian was saying of the point of layering loads of BVs. Yes, that would have taken it more the Stone Temple's route, but also it reminded me a lot of Eagles of Death Metal, that kind of vibe from the guitar point of view and what was happening on the drums. So if it went that way, no need for the masses of vocals, but the vocalist needs to sound more like he's got a drug problem rather than being worried about upsetting you. And that's about it, really. It's Andrea summed it up of it's such a shame because the guys are great players. It's a really good song. There's obviously energy there waiting to get out, but it's as if they were so determined to get it perfect in the studio that something is a little bit missing. I think there were a couple of sections from the arrangement where maybe, you know, from if you wanted to bring it in at 4:30, that could have been done quite easily. But generally, great song, great vibe. Just needed to be a take where they were having more fun rather than capturing perfection.
All right, that makes sense. I appreciate that. Name of track number 1 on today's broadcast. Track number 1 is called Start the Revolution, and that is from Kill Kasper. Thanks a lot, Kill Kasper, for sending that track in to Music Scene Investigation. Want to get your track in front of our panel? All you have to do is go to musicsceneinvestigation.com and click on the Submit a Song at the top of the page, and we'll make sure it gets in front of the panel free of charge. Of course, that's kind of the way we go with things around here. Song number 2 coming up. Here is the next track on the broadcast today, everyone. Certainly hope you enjoy it as well. This is track number 2 on today's Music Scene Investigation. Enjoy, everyone. And that is track number 2 on the broadcast today, as we have to cut them off at the 5-minute mark. And there's a reason we do that. It's because when you sign up and submit a song, you read down at the bottom where the requirements are that the song be less than 5 minutes and to be radio friendly, of course. So, 5 minutes is 5 minutes. I'm sorry, everybody. All right, over to Andrea Bensmiller first. Andrea, your thoughts on track number 2?
Well, I like, you weren't kidding when you said it would be hard this week. It was a really nice, clean recording. I like the piece. I think the mix was pretty well balanced. Instrumentally, everything was working arrangement-wise. The drums were a little hot for me. I would have backed them down just a little bit. There were a couple of times they really kind of took over the space. I really like the keys part and, the balance and the pads. The vocalist is a really interesting kind of 80s new wave-ish voice, which, I really like too. The bass tone was really good. I like the clarity on it, and there was some nice guitar tones in there too. Overall, instrumentally and sonically, I think it's a really good piece, and it really works. I would say the song itself is a little bit weak on the hook side, and it's a short chorus idea, this repetition of the word infinity, and there's not a whole lot happening in that melody, and that's the only thing that I think created some weakness in the song. Was there wasn't a lift there, and you didn't feel like you suddenly got connected to the song via the chorus. So that would be my only criticism of it. I really love the vibe of it. It's a really great piece. I'm sure even if you took off the vocal and it was just instrumental, it has a lot of character. I like the outro, really interesting with the vocal ahs and a slightly different melody there. Yeah, it's a really great piece. I think it's not the strongest song, and some of that comes from a weakness in the chorus idea. But otherwise, really, really nice piece of music.
All right, thank you, Andrea. Over to Paul Miro, and his thoughts. Thank you, Paul. Let me hear what you got to say, my friend.
Wasn't blown away by this, got to say. Musically, it was pretty steady. It reminded me of one of the old prog rock Rick Wakeman things from the 70s with an 80s vocalist glued on top. I think it was the song itself and the vocal delivery that left me feeling a little bit desiring more. I did actually, my ears pricked up at the end when he stopped using lyrics. The lyrics themselves might have been a weather forecast for me. They lost me. It felt like there should have been some epic story about people finding scrolls and runes and all that sort of thing. It had that kind of, like I say, Rick Wakeman vibe to me, but it wasn't saying that. And then the chorus itself was a bit nowhere. But when all the R's came in at the end, I kind of dug that. I thought that was really nice. Music was well put together. I really liked some of the layers from the keyboards. Everything was played well. Drummer really good again. I agree with Andrea from the mix point of view. I never worry. To be fair, I always look at stuff on MSI as demos. I never look at them as finished products anyway. So from the point of levels and EQs and things like that, yeah, there are things we could talk about for days on that. But my main problem with it was I wasn't blown away with the guy's voice, but that's always a personal perspective, and I think the song was weak.
All right, Paul, thank you. And over to Ian. Ian, your thoughts on this particular track?
Yeah, the guys have covered it, really. I mean, the first thing that stuck out were the drums. One, because they were good, and two, because they were a tad loud. But they did sound great. I mean, sonically, the drum kit sounded fantastic. Yeah, again, back to that vocalist. We talked about the last vocalist needing more energy in his voice and a bit more of a sort of angsty performance. And this guy was kind of more lackluster than the first guy. from that point of view. You know, I didn't feel he was, as I understand where he was coming from. I understand it on that sort of droney type vocal, but it still needs a bit of something in there. You can't just sort of get up there and sing it. It needs to have a bit of passion. It needs to have a bit of energy in it still, even though it's a totally different style of vocal. And that really did leave me a bit cold. Again, the hook in the chorus, and we talked about this before the show, about repeating words in songs to sort of create your hook. You know, and it can work in some instances. In this, it didn't. You know, I know you said all the songs were long this week, Rich, but when I heard the word infinity, I did get a bit scared. You know, thought we were going to be here all night. But yeah, again, that little outro, that was a bit sort of, you know, too late, really, because again, when all the R's and U's came in, it was really, really nice, and you wanted to hear a bit more of that rather than necessarily some of the stuff that was being sung before, which, as Paul said, you know, infinity is the only word that I've got from the whole song, really. Lyrically, I didn't really grasp it too well. And I did, again, feel that through too much reverb and levels, again, that vocalist was pushed back in places. It's a problem we see a lot on this show.
All right, I appreciate that as well. Song number 2 is called Lost Again by a group called Rock for Karma, and we appreciate their sending that track into Music Scene Investigation as well. All right, I have one more song to take a listen to. I was going to say 2 there. I think that stems from my whole timekeeping thing earlier. I don't know, but we do have one more song to take a listen to on today's Music Scene Investigation, so why don't we do that right now? Here it is, everyone. This is song number 3 on today's MSI. Enjoy.
Lost in a screen opportunity, out of the window, mystical rain, unnecessary waiting for a stump, blue shadow cover me like a cage. I am waiting for the day, but the day will never come.
And that is track number 3 on the broadcast today. So let's go ahead and go over to our panel, find out what they thought about track number 3, starting out with Paul Miro. Paul, track number 3, what do you think about that one?
Weird one. I think there's something going on in the world that people need to smoke more and take more drugs. This new generation is just freaking me out because we've had a three tracks in a row that have got amazing potential. Yeah, come on. But no, seriously, on a serious note, all 3 tracks have a consistent area of reservation where either people aren't spending enough time in studios to be relaxed in them, or they're afraid of upsetting the neighbors because it's a home studio. I don't understand, because that starts out, as a rock track. It's coming in, it's 7/8 all the way through, classic stuff. And I was there thinking, all right, we're going to get a Lane Staley type vocal in here, and the guy's almost talking, and from rock music point of view, you've got a 7/8 riff, it's the stereo riff, your classic thing of left and right guitars, one down the center, some layers going on when they build, and great drummer again, lovely low tuned bass in places, some really nice dynamics going on, which actually the other 2 tracks have lacked a little bit. But the vocalist, I just think of rock music from the point of, these guys play really well together. They've rehearsed the hell out of this. How's that going to work live? Because this isn't a song that the guy it's in a key for him to sing. So what happened? Did they go away, write this song, present it to the singer, and him go like, oh, okay, you mean you've already recorded the track and I've got to sing it in that key? Or is this a deliberate thing where the vocals are a kind of lazy, half-spoken delivery? To me, it's a bit, I don't know. It just made me feel uncomfortable that I wanted that vocal to rip in like the song is. There's parts in the instrumental sections where it lifts up, and the chorus itself, it doesn't elevate. It feels like a System of a Down type chorus. When they go into a melodic section, it drops, it feels half time. They still keep the 7/8 going. Very nice. But the vocal is, I don't know, a whisper. And you look at that from a live perspective, it can't really work unless the band is super quiet, which takes it away from being the rock track that it is. And that was my problem with that, really well played. I thought the vocals were either in the wrong key or just kind of, the guy needs to take some drugs.
All right. Well, I appreciate that.
Amen.
I appreciate that. For those people out there trying to watch the video, it has been fixed and should be back up and running just fine now. With any luck, knock on wood and all that good stuff. Over to Andrea Bensmiller. Andrea, your thoughts on track number 3?
Yeah, I agree with Paul. I'm not so sure about the drugs. I don't know if that always makes the vocalist better, but I agree.
Well, to sound as if he's taking drugs then.
But yeah, there's, something, maybe some caffeine. I don't know. God, this tune is it's got such a killer groove. It's reminiscent of, like Paul said, System of a Down, Tool, this really awesome killer groove, tasty drummer, such nice little touches in the playing. The band is solid. The music is really well built. And there are some nice melodies too in the vocal. Between the vocal mix being kind of all over the place, sometimes up, sometimes down, towards the end of the piece, totally lost. And the energy that's not there from the vocalist, especially, in that chorus part where you really want him to give you something to hang on to. It's, again, it's just a shame. It's such a great song. It's such a great groove. It's a decent recording. And there's just something about it that just is leaving you kind of like, it's become a Sunday afternoon, put my feet up on the couch song. And it's got so much more potential. There was so many things that I loved about this track, in the way they built it. Some really interesting little guitar parts in the beginning that played off each other. This just this great vibe and the dynamics, like Paul said, really well done. You gotta not let the studio become the place that kills your vibe. You know, I think Paul may have hit it on the head when he's saying, you know, we're not often in studios where you can just really rip things apart, and sometimes we're in home studios, and those studios tend to get real thinky. And we've seen that with all 3 tracks, very thinky, but not really showing off that kind of raw energy that you want to have, you know, as specifically as a rock band. So how you find it, I don't know. That's something that I think all the bands have to go back and think about, how they want to represent themselves and how they want to try to find that, you know, maybe spend less on production and more on a great studio that you can just turn up in and really play in for your basics. So yeah, you know, the same thing we've been saying, but such an amazing music, great track, great recording. I loved it.
All right, Andrea, thank you. And now over to Ian. Ian gets worried when I skip over him every once in a while. Ian, what do you think of track number 3?
It's not I don't get worried. I just feel like I'm being left out, Rich. But don't worry about it. I'm used to it.
You know, we always say save the best for last. Sometimes I do that and have Andrea go last. But, you know, occasionally it happens with you too.
No, it's fine. It's fine. what do I know anyway, eh? Right, no.
More than me when it comes to time, apparently.
You're not allowed an opinion. Shut up.
That's right.
Yeah, the guys have sort of hit the nail on the head, really. I mean, the drumming on this was absolutely fantastic. Really, really liked the groove. Really liked the sound of the drums and all the little sort of bits and pieces he was doing. Bass player was good. The guitars were just a big, nice wall of sound. And, you know, we often talk about a wall of sound as a negative thing. In this track, it was a good thing. They were nice and solid. They were nice and big. But where was the vocalist? Where was he? So Pinky in the chat room says take him off his antidepressants. And I think that might be a good idea, you know, just to sort of give him a kick up the backside. I wanted to hear him screaming. There was a point in the track. I didn't mind the sort of half-spoken, sort of lazy approach to start with. If I could have heard what he was saying, it was knocked right back in the mix against those guitars and just wasn't coming out. But I wanted him to build. And like when you came out to that sort of solo bit and that stop, and I wanted to hear the guy screaming after that. I wanted to hear him going off his nut and really sort of giving it large, taking everything up an octave and really pushing through things. And he didn't deliver, which is a bit of a shame. And kind of after that stop in the song, the rest of it was all pretty much the same as what was before that stop. And I felt a bit unnecessary. You could have cut the song there, finished it nicely, job done. Yeah, they need to make that singer do something with this track. He's got some good melody ideas. He has got that Lane Staley thing going on in the chorus, but it's not developed enough. There was a bit at the end of that chorus where if you listened carefully, there was this high vocal creeping in. It was just pulled right down in the mix, and you could just hear it coming through. And, you know, that's where I want to hear a lot more of this vocalist singing. That's where it should be on this track. Just bring it out from those guitars and give it that power or give it that passion that obviously the rest of the band are playing with.
All right, Ian, I appreciate that. Thank you. The name of track number 3 is The Day That Never Comes by a group called Victims of Illusion, or Victim of Illusion. I apologize. Victim of Illusion, we appreciate you sending that track into Music Scene Investigation. Now, as we do every week, we have our panel decide on a song of the week, which this week's no exception. They're going to have to do that and let us know what they think should be the song of the week. So I'm going to turn it over to you guys and let you fight it out, discuss it amongst yourselves, and make a decision. What do you think? Yeah, don't everyone go at once.
Since it's International Women's Day.
You know what we always do? We throw the guest under the bus first. So Paul,
song number 1 for me. Song number 1 because
I can agree with that.
closest to being an easy fix. Just the vocalist needs to relax, not the rest of the band will relax with him. You know, I mean, it's back to this thing, what we're just saying about people not relaxing in studios. It's coming from a thing of, I don't think people are doing enough gigs, you know, but it used to be people would go out and do a load of gigs and people had actually paid to go and see shows, and you'd build your craft from that and in the rehearsal room. And then by the time you got into the studio, you were so tight that you weren't thinking about that element anymore. You were having fun. And I don't think people are doing enough gigs to get to that point. But you know, song number 3 for me would have been it if I can't get my head around where that was. You know, you got people who are structuring stuff really carefully, loads of dynamics, loads of textures and things. And if you've got a singer with a specific range and you want to bring out his strengths, you know, heck, you've got a guy using a 5-string bass, just drop the whole thing a fourth or raise it 3 tones so that the singer sounds like he means it, and they'd be on to a winner there. As it is, song number 1 ticked most boxes for me today.
All right, Andrea, Ian?
Yeah, you see, I'm kind of in the place where I want to disregard all of the vocalists and just listen to what else is going on behind. And they're all pretty good from that point of view. I really am stuck between 3 and 1. I want to say 3 because I want to see that rectified. I want to see the guys sort of hear the show and take the encouragement from us that it's a great track and go out and fix their problems with this, because there's something good there. As soon as you heard the intro to that track, I was hooked. I'm going to go with 3. I'm going to go against my esteemed colleague, Mr. Miro. Sorry, sir. But purely for the fact that everything else on number 3 was fantastic, I'm going to give it that.
All right, and we're going to have Andrea make the decision, or split the decision, whichever way it goes. Andrea? I know, it's such a tough deal,
so
isn't
much
it?
pressure.
No pressure.
No pressure.
You know, I'm so torn too. I'm torn between 1 and 3. They both have different strengths to me, and I'm gonna go with 3 because I really think that even though the number 1 had real strong musical aspects too, that the band and the groove and the tones and virtually everything else about number 3 really was pretty close to perfect. So, but tough, really close this week, you know? So yeah, I'm going to take 3.
All right, well, there you have it. Song number 3 is our song of the week, Victim of Illusion with The Day That Never Comes. Now, Paul, you now know how I feel, outnumbered all the time.
Well, it's National Women's Day, so, you know, this is why the women were never allowed to vote. Right? So it's kind of it, really.
Wow. He said that. He actually said that. I can't believe it.
Yeah, because it's the internet. We can do that. Everyone can have an opinion, even, you know. It's like, no, but being serious, it's not an easy thing. And my thing for number 1 was purely based on it being the easiest fix. That was it. I was just put producer head on and went, yeah, that's the one that can be made to work the easiest with the least effort.
All right. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking during number 3, Paul, that if you were producing and mixing that, it would have been a lot better track, because, you know, it's kind of, some of that was reminiscent in areas of the old Apes stuff. And yeah, I would have liked to heard your take on that.
I'd have got the singer in from band number 1. Replace what this guy's doing, you know. But, yeah.
There you go. Well, there you have it. And song of the week is selected, Victim of Illusion, The Day That Never Comes. We appreciate you coming in, Paul. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
Best of luck with the new album, and you'll have to let us know once the crowdfunding site is up, so we can make sure we let everybody know about it as well.
And they can keep an eye
Absolutely.
on paulmiro.com and at Paul Miro on Twitter.
There you go. Follow Paul on Twitter. It's worth it. He's got a lot of witty things to say. Most of it's about stuff I don't understand, though, because it's all English and politics and stuff, and I don't get you guys' politics. I don't
We
know.
don't do politics over here.
We don't have politics over here anymore. We have comedians.
Oh, well, there you
Have
go.
theater.
Yeah, exactly,
Yes.
exactly. It's a bit like you guys with more elaborate lies. That's all.
There you go. There you go. All right. Thanks for being here. Thank you, Ian, Andrea, everybody out in the audience. Thank you as well. We're going to leave out today with Victim of Illusion and their track, The Day That Never Comes, as our song of the week. Certainly hope you join us this Wednesday for an MSI hit list. We're going to put 4 songs from last month's Song of the Week selectees in a big ring, let them fight it out. It's going to be bloody. It'll be great. You'll love it. It's going to be a lot of fun. So tune in then at 5:30, actually 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, which is still the same time. I'm confused anyway, so we'll have to work it out as we go.
Don't listen to him.
Yeah,
about the time.
never listen to me, that's for sure. Talk to you next time right here on Music Scene Investigation. Thanks for being here, everybody. See you then.
Laters.
Bye.
Lost in a screen of the TV, out of the window, mystical rain, unnecessary waiting for a stump, blue shadow cover me like a cage. I am waiting for the day, but the day will never come. voices in the distance remind me of the day. I trust of your words, now I know what I want. Flight of my dreams, baby, in perfect dark. Don't move now. Is far. I am waiting for the day. But the days already passed. Relive the day that never comes. Relive the day that never comes. Relive the day that never comes. Relive the day into the mirror.